stream. The vampire stream. The vampire stream. Hey, no guys, rolls. He's tomato can. Why is Ego's Army so funny though? Hey, no guys, rolls. He's tomato can. Hey, I love boxing. You see, on the vampire stream, we having the time of our life over here. Man, this has been great. I appreciate y'all for just holding it. I don't even know where to start, man. And see, they think we just be bragging, but man, everything we keep saying comes true, man. Y'all want to talk about Eddie Hearnss first, or you want to talk about Triple G Rolls first? I had to leave that last stream because after fights, it brings in a bunch of casuals, be drunk. I just didn't have the patience for it. They were saying some stupid shit, so I was like, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't even need all the extra casuals. I'd rather have the usual suspect, the regular people that be in Ego's Army. Y'all want to talk about Triple G and Rolls first, and what's next, or you want to talk about Eddie Hearn? We got a smaller group, so he said Eddie. All right, Eric 415. Man, so the man Eddie Hearn, your boy been digging. I found an interview with Eddie Hearn, and he said all times.
The broadcast, that's unprecedented, and you can't buy that, so that's everywhere. Dude, the card, we were there.
Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn. Listen, Eddie Hearns is trying to spin Joshua losing as some cool shit for DAZN, bro. Man, they must. I don't know what's going on, but they must really think we're stupid, bro. He really tried to spin Anthony Joshua losing in that fashion as a good thing for DAZN. He's like, oh yeah, the broadcast and yeah, it helping DAZN. Bro, that did not help DAZN. Like, come on, man. Come on. Eddie, what have you done for me lately? Come on. Like, he's trying to flip it into some cool shit. Like, really? Massive risk. Listen.
Top to bottom. Yeah. That night last week was so big for DAZN because it was everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, it was good for subscribers and good for, bringing new subscribers. But in terms of the noise it made outside of the broadcast, that's unprecedented, and you can't buy that. So that's everywhere. Dude,
Oh, you didn't know Biggie's homeboy shot you because they bragging. He's really trying to make it. He said that was everywhere. You can't buy that. Yeah, but it wasn't for, some cool shit. That's like me saying, oh, Bill Cosby, he's in every paper. Yeah, but he in the paper for raping bitches. You know what I'm saying? The Jello and the pudding, you can't be, oh, his face is all over the TV. He's everywhere. Yeah, but you ain't over everywhere for some good shit. You was putting with the Jello, the pudding pops, and you put it in the butthole. You're not in the news for something good, bro. He said it was massive. Did Siri just say massa? Oh shit, she know about slave room. She said massa. I don't know if y'all heard that, but Siri's like massa, massive risk. Siri talking shit. Really, it was huge for DAZN that their cash cow lost to a PBC fighter. Like, this shit don't even sound believable anymore. But listen, he was asked about the DAZN numbers.
You know, and it was tough. You know, it was. I wanted to launch in the States.
Get something like this to happen.
Eddie Hearn started talking about how challenging it's been with his American takeover. And he's basically telling you what I told you about how he came in bragging and gloating. He was going to American takeover and all the promoters are going to be, laughing in, or not laughing, but shaking in their boots. And then now he's telling you he realizes how he came in. And then he's saying he got blocked out of America. This is crazy. This is everything I've said. This is my life's work for the last year and a half on YouTube with projections and predictions, and this is crazy. He came in too confident, and he was talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna take over and massive risk and all these other American promoters, and he's realizing just now that it backfired. Just listen to what he said.
And how you guys are changing the landscape of boxing.
So we've been working with DAZN for a long time across a lot of different markets worldwide. As a promoter, done a few shows in the US, had a deal with HBO, but really needed the artillery, the rights fees, the dates to try and build a stable. Timing came along, DAZN wanted to launch in the States, and it was great. I was probably a little bit naive in that I was like, I'm going to come to US, I'm going to smash everybody up.
He said, I was probably a little bit naive. I was saying I was going to come to the States and smash everybody up. He's just now realizing what I've been telling you. America's a different market. You're not just going to come in and, ruffle feathers and all this stuff you said. He said, I was probably a little. He's telling on himself, people. New media is the truth. I told you. I'm the truth. He said I was probably a little naive because I came in and said I'm going to smash everybody up and all that takeover shit. He's realizing that was an error in judgment.
Listen. I wanted to launch in the States, and it was great. I was probably a little bit naive in that I was like, I'm going to come to US, I'm going to smash everybody up, I'm going to take over, we've got this pot of money, blah, blah, blah. Probably underestimated, the skills of the other guys who wanted to hold on so tight. They blocked me. They tried to stop me. And it was tough.
They blocked me. They tried to stop me.
It was a real tough start where I was getting sort of turned down the skills of the other guys who wanted to. Naive in that I was like, I'm gonna the rights fees, the dates to try and build a stable. Timing came along. DAZN wanted to launch in the States, and it was great. I was probably a little bit naive in that I was like, I'm gonna come to US. I'm gonna smash everybody up. I'm gonna take over. We've got this pot of money. Blah blah blah. Probably underestimated, the skills of the other guys who wanted to hold on so tight. They blocked me, they tried to stop me, and it was tough. It was a real tough start where I was getting sort of turned down from fighters thinking, how can you turn down this deal? They didn't know enough about me. They didn't know enough about DAZN. Everyone was telling them it wouldn't work. Everyone was telling them the money wasn't real. Everyone was telling them Eddie Hearn's no good. And it's just taken us time and knocking down doors to the point now where fighters are like calling us saying, no, listen, this DAZN thing, this is really working. I'm like, I told you it was going to work,
Bro, Eddie Hearn, he's realizing, bro, I told you this was some different shit in America. America got that shit. He said, I told everyone I was going to come in, take over, and smash everyone to bits. I was probably naive. He's just now seeing the error in his ways. What have I been telling you though? I told you. You gonna announce your plan. First of all, if you trying to fuck anybody up, you don't announce it. That's like bringing the Trojan horse through Troy and shit. And then telling that people are inside. What the fuck? Just let us in with this big, Trojan horse. I got men inside that are gonna, accept this huge gift. I got a massive army inside. Like, why would you tell people your game plan to destroy them? Eric, 415, he said new media been saying that. Man, this has been a phenomenal year for us. That's all I can say. Eddie said he was gonna come over, take over, and promoters will be shaking in their boots. And now he's seeing It's not that easy. I told you, fighters ain't just gonna sign because you throw money and abandon their loyalties or abandon who's been in their corner since they were like pups and before they had titles. You think you could just throw money and then, Errol Spence is a champion now and Al Heyman got him to that point. You think he's just gonna abandon all that to switch sides on something for something he don't even know? When his stuff is starting to work out, he just beat Eddie. He beat Eddie's fighter, Kell Brook. That was way before DAZN even came out. So Al Heyman helped guide him to these moments. Same thing with Wilder. Showtime been helping him. Premier Boxing Champ platform. Steven Espinoza, Al Heyman. So you thought you were just gonna come buy up all the real estate and all the it's crazy. It's crazy how dead on we were. I've been telling you. And now he's admitting that, okay, I got a little too big for my britches. He's just saying it in his own way. But and then he starts saying that Joshua losing was everywhere. Yeah, because he got upset. It wasn't that's not a benefit to DAZN. Because he got not, because like, oh my gosh, this is just too easy. This is too easy. This is too easy. So he was like, yeah, it's everywhere. It's on social media. Yeah, it's because Joshua got upset and he wasn't supposed to. So yeah, it's making TMZ and social media. I told you Wilder would go up. I said he has a chance to go viral, but I said Joshua ain't gonna go viral for the same reason. It'll probably be if he loses. Man, I hope I can find that video. I should just start compiling all the stuff that I tell you. Just make a brag video where I just show you all the stuff. Because they think when I say it, I'm always the bad guy and don't know what I'm talking about. And then it happens, and then y'all play brand new. So you got to look at it like this. DAZN, a lot of people, it went viral after people found out what happened. Like, if that doesn't mean they subscribed and bought the fight. You get what I'm saying? Like, it went viral. Not everyone bought the first fight. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, not everyone bought the first fight, watched it in real time, and found out what happened. Some people found out what happened after the fact, and then they watched the highlights on YouTube or on Twitter because DAZN had it everywhere, and everybody was posting it. Bleacher Report, TMZ, and all that. Eddie. Hey, block this motherfucker putting in away and shit. Who the fuck is this? I gotta block them, sorry. Anyway. He also said that he was asked directly about the viewership.
What's happening? Is he coming back? Everywhere. I mean, it was good. You can't buy that, so that's everywhere. They don't really invest.
Listen.
On DAZN.
See, finishing off with the bang with the two guys, with the two big boys going at it, and everything happened the way it happened. Did we get some viewership numbers back yet? Do we know what we hit?
They don't really. I mean, I know that it was the third
Direct question. Do we get some viewership numbers?
biggest audience.
See, finishing off with the bang with the two guys, with the two big boys going at it, and everything happened the way it happened. Did we get some viewership numbers back yet? Do we know what we hit?
They don't really. I mean, I know that it was the third biggest audience on DAZN so far, behind the two Canelo fights. Sort of on parallel with the Rocky Fielding numbers. I mean,
Sort of on parallel. No numbers given.
I can tell you that it beat Joshua's last viewing numbers on Showtime for his UK fight, but you'd expect that because obviously, but it's the growth of the subscribers now. And
You see how hard it is to answer? The dude just said, what were the viewership numbers? Oh, but they don't really, the viewership, A-E-I-O-U, you know what I'm saying? That tells you what you need to know, folks. He says, but I can tell you it was third best on DAZN ever in the U.S. So he says Canelo versus Jacobs is the number one fight. The only fight that DAZN has released numbers for. 600K concurrent, whatever that means. You know, I know what concurrent means, but I'm just saying I don't know how many unique accounts that was. We're just talking about U.S. numbers. Then he's saying Joshua Ruiz was also beat by Canelo Fielding. So Canelo Fielding had a higher viewership. And in at number 3, which is what I told you, in at number 3 is Joshua Ruiz. So, oh man, this is bad news because Eddie Hearn's just being everybody's numbers. So he refused to actually just say a number. So you know the ranking, the third best, that don't really tell us nothing. So, you could do some simple like guesstimation. We know Canelo versus Jacobs in the States did 600K. So if Joshua Ruiz ranked behind Canelo Fielding in third place, then we know it didn't do 600K or better on DAZN. So if you and the only thing we can do is speculate because DAZN ain't releasing no numbers. So the highest viewed programming per Eddie Hearn on camera is number 1 Canelo Jacobs, number 2 Canelo Fielding, and then the third best U.S. viewing, event would be Joshua Ruiz. But that doesn't tell us much. So we know it didn't surpass 600, concurrent. And that doesn't even tell us if it's 600 unique individual accounts or if it's, one guy has one account and then he's playing on his phone, his iPad, and the living room TV. That's, 3 streams running. So, like I said, you do a little bit of guesswork. You know the threshold, it didn't beat 600K. And then there's another fight that beat it, which is Canelo Fielding. And that wasn't even that big of a fight. And then you have Joshua. So, like I said, I don't see how DAZN is like winning with these type of numbers. I really don't. I can't see how that's a victory. And to make it worse, this is their numbers. This is what they got their growing pains. But Eddie Hearn is representing DAZN, and he's constantly saying, "Oh, Wilder, Wilder," and not even Eddie's talking about Wilder sold 6,000 tickets, which we know is not true. But then he's saying these stuff and then making the fans talk about numbers more than boxing. And he's ushering in, this Joshua fans and UK people who are checking for numbers. And then all of those people were saying, oh, yeah, Wilder can't even do a mil. Stop it. He did 990,000, which is 10,000 away from 1 million. Plus, with the replay, it surpassed 1 million. Really? And he was competing with the NBA playoffs. And these fans, that's what I'm telling you, these weren't real fans in the comment section, these man fans. They made Wilder versus Brazil sound horrible for not reaching 1 mil, even though it was 10K away from 1 mil in the first viewing, and it was only a 1-round fight, so people didn't even get a chance to get some popcorn, get a beverage or whatever, and the shit was already over, But Wilder did basically 1 million, and they made that sound bad. And that's a premium network too that you have to pay for. Showtime ain't included in, the average cable package. Now he's admitting DAZN came in third place behind Canelo Fielding. Like you did, how didn't Joshua do better than Canelo Fielding? This was his American debut, which goes back to what I told you guys. Remember when Joshua was a live in studio guest in New York? I think it was for the Canelo Fielding fight week, and Joshua was a live guest, and then Max Kellerman said that Joshua is the biggest star in boxing, bigger than Canelo. And I'm like, hell no. I said that, and I said that several times. Like, what is Max Kellerman talking about? Now, since Joshua's American debut is in third place, only behind Canelo's appearances on DAZN, I think it's safe to say that I knew what the fuck I was talking about, and Canelo is a bigger American star. Bro, it's looking so bad for old media. It's looking so bad. Like everything, bro. Anonymous guy. He said Canelo Fielding was rumored to have done less than 200K. Yeah. So, well, that's okay. So, how much did Joshua do, bro? This is why they're not revealing the numbers. You're not finna play me. This because if Canelo, I don't know if that's true, but all I know is it didn't. The pinnacle to beat on DAZN is 600K. That much they revealed. So we don't know if that's 600 unique accounts. I know for a fact it ain't 600 motherfuckers paying 100 a year without knowing a whole schedule. Some people might have done that, but it's more than likely, using conventional wisdom, I guess you could say, it's people who are on the $9.99 package or the $19.99, and some people on the 100. So it's the third greatest, Yeah, I'm blocking Marlon. Look up, Marlon. Say blocked. Stupid, stupid ass shit, bro. You see, this is the type of attitude that gets old media. They always end up losing because they try to go tit for tat. There's no tit for tat. First of all, you got to understand. Listen, let me break this down for you guys, real proper like. There is no tit for tat because Wilder has no expectations to beat. Wilder's not the one running around saying, I got 4 belts. I'm the biggest star, ever. He might be saying that now, but I'm saying he hasn't been the person that said that for the last 2 years. So they in their miserable and horrible efforts to compare, they look stupid as fuck because you're trying to compare two things. Like ESPN will say Lomachenko is number 1 pound for pound. And then they'll say, oh, but Errol Spence. But no one said Errol Spence was number 1. Oh, but Charlo did this. But people aren't saying Charlo is number 1 pound for pound right now. You get what I'm saying? So we're already off rip talking about two different things. The bottom line is Joshua was the guy with the belts. Joshua, according to Max Kellerman and a lot of you motherfuckers, was the biggest star in world boxing all across the world. According to Max Kellerman, he was a bigger star than Canelo. We are now finding out since his American debut on DAZN did less than both Canelo fights, including one Canelo fight that was a BS fight that, people knew what the outcome was going to be. And Joshua didn't even beat that as a heavyweight, bro. So, again, Omida getting fucked up. His star power was always overstated by Eddie Hearn. Now it don't even matter because he just lost. So, Andy Ruiz stole his belts and took some of his shine. But it just goes to show you that he's not as big as they were making it seem. Okay, for this shit is funny. This is how could you hate or be mad at new media? This is like literally everything we told you and you guys denied, getting like thrown up in your face. And how can you be mad at us for it, for being right? Here's another thing. Remember Joshua? He was the pre-sale record king for Madison Square Garden, right? See, this is what I'm saying. Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn thought this was a UK. I don't know what they got going on with the ticket sales and the brokers and all that stuff, but playing these little games and stuff, it won't work because listen, just hear me out. Anthony Joshua allegedly broke all these pre-sale records and so much money was purchased before tickets went on sale. It's just like, oh, I can't wait in line. They have some kind of coupon code or some shit to get exclusive pre-sale before the line to the mass public opened up. And it set a pre-sale record, right? That's what they said. We ain't never heard about that since. We don't even know what the attendance was. Somebody show me an actual article from a credible website in boxing that showed the Ruiz versus AJ attendance. How many tickets were comped versus how many they sold. None of these numbers are available. None of them are coming out. See, Eddie Hearn is spewing lies and saying Deontay Wilder sold 6,000. But then the PBC people are sending out emails that I have, and they said, depending on which fight, but that last one did 13,400, let's say. It was 13 and change for the Dominic Brazil fight. So that means PBC gave away 7,000 tickets. But Eddie Hearn ain't revealing the numbers. I'm telling you, it's a vicious game he's playing. Vicious game that he can't really win. Joshua's the pre-sale king in New York. So why didn't that translate to topple Canelo's financial success or whatever in viewership on DAZN? It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. You can't fake it's just like when people buy YouTube likes or subscribers and shit. That don't do nothing. Okay, let's say you bought subscribers. You really don't have those. Those are like bot accounts, robot accounts or some bullshit. So you're not going to be able to move from city to city and cover different fights and pay for it because you're not really making money. The only thing you can do is hope to trick people into oh yeah, man, this guy already has 60,000 subscribers, so let me give him my sub. But that's the only thing you do. It don't put more money in your bank account. It don't give you more views. And then when it says you have 60,000, but you're getting the viewership of somebody who has 5,000 subs, then it makes you look crazy. So once again, if Joshua's the pre-sale god, how come his viewership number doesn't beat Canelo Fielding? Explain this. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to be able to trick people all across the board. You could do whatever you did with pre-sale and the brokers or whatever. You could do that. But why doesn't it translate into, okay, Mayweather, we know he's commercially successful. When he sold with Conor McGregor, he only did 17,000 tickets, probably because the tickets were overpriced and some people were like, fuck that. I'm not paying that much for seats. You get what I'm saying? So if they would have been cheaper with the prices, they would have sold out. But having high price points, some people probably couldn't swing it. But they didn't care about, having a 20,000 there because they were getting so much from the live gate from, high price tickets and celebrities being there and all that, right? So either way, it translates. We know Floyd to be successful, and it translates. It translates into the viewership, everything. Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather fight, pay-per-view wise, did exceptionally well. How is it that Joshua is doing? People just can't. They all the people in the middle. Just listen to this. So many. I told you. I've been saying. Okay, I'm sorry. Joshua. So many people could not wait for tickets to go on sale. To the point where Joshua, then it was supposed to be Gerald Miller, bought pre-sale tickets. They just couldn't wait. There was all this electric energy in New York, and people were like salivating, knocking people over to get these tickets. All right, cool. Then why doesn't that translate into DAZN viewership number? Because not everyone, if there's this much excitement for a fight, not everyone's going to be able to go to the fight. So wouldn't that energy and that electricity transfer to the people who can't actually be there, buying the fight for $9.99 or $19.99, whatever price point they're under, or $100? That's what I'm saying. You're not going to be able to fake it across the board. So realistically, what happened is, in my opinion, they had a lot of brokers buy tickets and peddle them off at a higher price. Flip them. The face value for the ticket's $250, and you got it listed, hoping it'll sell out. And then when it does, then you got it listed for $725 to $1250 or something, so you can make a profit. The other thing is, Eddie Hearn's to fill out, they're flying people and doing packages and shit, and it got a bunch of people from the UK, which is what I told you. That doesn't make Anthony Joshua a star here. So you think Joshua's gonna have a bland personality, not really seem personable, seem kind of robot like, and he's gonna be a big American star when you're having a bunch of 8 to 12,000 people. I don't know the number because they kept changing it. That came out from the UK. that was never going to work. Like I said, now those 8 to 12,000 people, they just went home miserable because their countrymen lost. So for the next fight, they might not be willing to. Block who? Man, I'll block him. I don't think I have any shooters. The old media is so bad. He said, stop saying translate. That's all they can say is stupid shit. But anyway, it doesn't translate into actual viewership. I'm going to keep saying this shit. It doesn't translate to viewership or success or fanfare in America by doing stuff like that. Cool, you got 12,000 Brits that can't order DAZN that flew out. What about the DAZN? That doesn't benefit. That just, if anything, that just benefits your live gate. And I would imagine if they're already flying, there's packages, hotel, flight, different kind of, package points. Because who just has endless money where they can, pay crazy amount, 10,000 for some ringside seats, plus pay for their own flight. You have to be pretty well off to do something like that. Man. I just can't see like the business model. The more and more comes out, I'm like, man, how they making profit though? It's like how you make profit off that? Look, Golovkin. This is from ESPN. This is Dan Raphael from ESPN. Purses for the Golovkin Rose card. Gennady Golovkin's purse is listed as a laughable $2 million. He's getting closer to $15 million. Steve Rolls got $300K, and these are the other people on the card that nobody knows. Right? Okay, so he's basically snitching on them and saying that they lying about the purses. He said it's a laughable $2 million. Right? He says a laughable $2 million, but he knows he's really getting more like $15 million. Okay. Steve Rolls was exactly what we knew it was going to be, right? A blowout. Steve Rolls, he tried, credit to him. He tried in the second round. That wasn't no classic. That wasn't no classic fight. Joshua Ruiz, I don't even think that was a classic fight in terms of, that was a classic performance more than a classic fight. Joshua didn't win anything. It had a classic round and a classic performance more than a classic fight. When I think of a classic fight, I'm thinking of Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, Diego Corrales versus Castillo, Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez, those types of fights. Eric Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera, those are classic fights. That wasn't a classic fight because it wasn't like super competitive. It was a classic performance more than anything. And round 3 was a classic round for heavyweights because of what happened, the drama. So, according to ESPN, he says they listed Triple G's purse. And see, this, y'all funny. When PBC fighters, they're listed at getting whatever they get. And then people are like, oh, Wilder only made $3 million for this fight. Ha, ha, ha. But then Dan Raphael says Triple G's listed at making $2 million, a laughable $2 million. But he's saying that basically he was informed that Triple G is making closer to $15 million. Okay, I'll take his word for it. What type of numbers? Okay, if if Joshua Ruiz, which turned out to be a solid fight or performance, if that didn't pass Canelo Fielding, what the fuck did Triple G versus Steve Rose card do for DAZN? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if Joshua's American debut, a heavyweight fight with Andy Ruiz, didn't surpass Canelo Fielding numbers, does anyone believe Triple G versus Steve Rose put up some legendary numbers? So that is horrible. That is horrible. You're so according to ESPN, you're paying Golovkin $15 million for that, and it wasn't even like I can't even think of no fights on the undercard. The main event offered no surprises. It ended in the 4th round. Golovkin versus Rose should have been on free PBS. Hey, you tripping, dog? So that's bro. I don't know. I can't understand this. I understand having money and being a billionaire, but the he said the venue was dead. The commentary crew even said, "Oh, it's not as lively at the Garden as last week." So we know it didn't do better numbers because at the very least, Joshua had 8 to 12,000 people allegedly fly out from the UK. Who did Triple G? Did he have 8,000 people fly out and all that from Kazakhstan? Bro, how can you afford to pay someone $15 million with no pay-per-view and expect to keep doing that? Come on, man. So yeah, if you on DAZN, I would try to get as much money as I can, because I don't see how that's sustainable at all. I do not see how that would be that type of card, and you're paying one person $15 million. That's not the type of fight. Like, that's not a type of fight card where I don't know. I don't even know what the live gate would do for something like that. Man, these rats just keep coming back. I don't care. I know you the same dude. Blocked. DAZN put the Triple G Rose highlights on YouTube within an hour. I told you. This is what I'm saying. Like, this whole thing, man. Cancel the whole, throw away the whole business model. They need a revamp. I can't understand the strategy, man. So Triple G Rose was no legendary fight, and the best shit can be seen on Twitter from DAZN and YouTube from DAZN immediately to within the hour. And you sit up here charging $20 a month for that. Like, HBO been around for 45 years before they just recently got out of boxing. They didn't even do that. Put that in your pipes. If Canelo Triple G was a pay-per-view, you have to wait a week, and that next Saturday, that's when the fight would re-air. They showing you the best highlights and the knockdowns and motherfuckers getting hurt and slept and shit right on YouTube for free. This, I don't know, unless it's like some money laundering front. Bro, I can't see how this is sustainable. 15 million for Triple G, like, come on, bro. For Triple G Rose, it's not even like Triple G Andrade or something. Come on, man. This shit is a Ponzi scheme or something. Money laundering. There's no way that you could. It don't matter if you're a billionaire, bro, because money runs out if you spend it, foolishly. And for Canelo, I told you, okay, so Canelo Jacobs is their number one fight. Canelo Jacobs is their number one fight, and in America it did 600K. That's not great numbers. That's not great numbers at all. And see, this is the thing. Why would you have to rely on other markets like Japan and Australia and all this other shit to pay for an American card. Like, so you have to tally up. So like basically your profits from Italy and Switzerland and Bucharest and all this shit, you have to use those profits to pay Canelo for an American card. Really weird. That would be really weird to me. You know what I'm saying? You would want your whole, like, I don't know. Let's say I have, let's say I do arts and crafts or some shit. And I'm already dumping in money to buy the supplies for the arts and crafts. And then I make the arts and crafts. And it's costing me so much to rent a booth to sell the arts and crafts that I got to dabble in my YouTube money constantly. Like, it's weird. You know, like, it's not self-sustainable. Like, why do you have to, I don't know, it's just, that's why I'm not tallying all this. You broke into the U.S. market because that's the market you're looking to capture. So I'm not worried about Japan and Australia and all these other places that they were, or wherever, Switzerland and Italy and all that. And then, to be honest, I'm just being real, bro. How real y'all want me to get? If y'all want me to be real, could I get a hell yeah? If y'all want me to break this shit down, smash the like button. If y'all want me to get real, can I get a hell yeah? I'm about to break this shit down. I'm gonna break this shit down like a brick. All right, let me break it down. Watch this. DAZN's biggest stars, their performances haven't been like exceptional. I'm just telling you what I feel. If you look at the biggest stars on DAZN, all of their performances looks like they could get beat at some point given the right style. All of them. All of their biggest stars. Joshua did get beat, so that's easy. He's one of their biggest stars. He got beat, so that's that. Golovkin looks slow as fuck, and he looks like he looked a bit older. Like, I feel like if he would have fought Canelo tonight, that would have been good, because Steve Rolls is super inexperienced, and he was just super inexperienced, and he was tagging Golovkin with some shit. And he has minimal power. We know Canelo has respectable power for Golovkin. And then, who's the other dude? The other person is Canelo. Canelo, he has the same issue. He's a really good fighter, but his stamina is not sorted out. Do you get what I'm saying? Bro, it's your whole starting lineup looks like okay, put it this way. If I'm lying, let me know out of their biggest stars who look like they'll have a Floyd Mayweather career and they ain't not going to lose anytime soon. If they fight the best competition, they ain't not going to lose or look vulnerable or lose. So, like, let's say Canelo. So, if Canelo were to fight Triple G, there's no way he could lose. If he fights Andre, there's no way he's going to lose. If he fights Caleb Smith, he's going to look great. That type of shit. Like, skillfully. Does it look like Canelo is invincible? Does it look like Triple G's invincible? You know, we know Joshua already lost, so his next fight is do or die. Bro, see, people don't want to talk real boxing. I'm talking real boxing. I'm not roasting. I'm not trying to clown the fighter. I'm just saying all the guys that are the biggest stars that they're giving the biggest bucks. White Chocolate, bro, he's not even far in his career. He's not even someone you could. Come on, bro. You about to get blocked for saying some stupid shit like that, bro. He's a little kid. He's not fought You don't know how good he'll be and all that. I'm talking, and I said big. See, bro, you know I'm blocking these motherfuckers, bro. I got to. That motherfucker said white chocolate. I said the big three, like the big stars that are getting the big buck. He ain't making the man. I'm blocking all the dumb shit. I don't have time. I don't have the patience. Not even Wilder looks invincible blocked, bro. It don't. You see, listen. This is why old media gets fucked. Yeah, let's run it. Lomachenko. Okay, block. I'm blocking everybody, bro. You guys are saying Lomachenko ain't even with the zone. Hold on, I'm blocking all this shit. I caught 3 bodies. Let's go. Y'all gonna learn today. They put stupid shit. We talking about DAZN. Y'all talking about Wilder and Lomachenko. He's not even a thing on DAZN. Lomachenko don't fight for DAZN. Wilder don't fight for DAZN. And you're missing the whole okay. Top Rank, listen to me. Top Rank, they got their own thing. PBC got their own thing. The PBC infrastructure, the amount of fighters they have, it's not contingent on just Wilder. Yes, he's a big earner and one of their bigger stars right now, but it's not the whole. They've already been around for 4 or 5 years, so it's not contingent on Wilder's success anyway. These dudes, see, I make a point and they try to keep up and try to go tit for tat, and then they get cooked because they missed the whole point. They missed the whole point. The reason we're talking about DAZN is because DAZN is a new company, and DAZN happens to be the one that needs to break in through the market. DAZN is the one that is stuck on an app with no network. DAZN is the one paying these fighters these remarkable pay scales for non-remarkable fights. Canelo getting $15 to $30 million to fight Rocky Fielding. ESPN reporting that Triple G's getting close to $15 million to fight Steve Rose. That's why we're talking. Wilder have nothing to do with that. They talking about Wilder and Fury could be a trilogy. They talking about Wilder Ortiz on pay-per-view. Totally different situations, because Top Rank nor PBC and Al Heyman have turned their eye on pay-per-view. Bob Arum ain't dumb. Al Heyman ain't dumb. They're not saying, oh, we're not running no more pay-per-views. DAZN is saying that. So this is why we're talking about that. See, I gotta break this down to the molecule, because some of y'all like to play games and shit. We talking about DAZN's business model. They're the only ones saying pay-per-view is dead. UFC just ran a 283. That wasn't like a super high profile, Conor McGregor card, but it was still on pay-per-view. The only one that has abandoned pay-per-view is DAZN. So stay focused. I just blocked 3 people. Who else? See, that's what I told you. They try to keep up. They try to keep up. They try to go tit for tat. It's not about going tit for tat unless you talk about the same shit. The reason everything I'm saying has relevance or a purpose to it. They just saying stuff to get even. Keep in mind they got paid a certain amount for a number of fights. That's true too. That's what I'm saying. So okay, so here's another conundrum. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're even thinking about this stuff. Peep this. They're talking about Canelo Golovkin. I don't know if it actually happens, but that's what they're talking about, right? They're talking about Canelo versus Golovkin. Next. So here's an example. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. All right, cool. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they have a plan, like a game plan. Salute ego. That's called maintaining the framing of the convo. I like that. Appreciate you. That's what I'm saying. They see, boxing has a lot of emotion, emotional fan. I'm not saying what I'm saying based on hatred or love or sides or payment. You know, they say, "Oh, you're getting paid by Wilder and stupid shit." I'm not going. I'm going off of what I see, and I can explain everything that I see. They're going to try. They're trying to keep up. You know, if I say something positive about Wilder, then I got to say something positive about AJ. Little kid game. You know, like if you give one dog a biscuit, you got to give the other dog a biscuit. No, we're not playing them little games. I'm telling you what I see. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know, keep it even. If the situation is even, then I'll keep it even. But if they're two totally different situations, then we have to put it in that perspective. End of story. Now, DAZN, their business model is the only one in combat sports that has done away with pay-per-view or said they're not reliant on that. And they're the ones that are new. So this is why we're talking about those things. For example, here's a possible conundrum. It sounds to me like DAZN is in the market to explore Canelo versus Golovkin. Golovkin just won, Canelo just won. But here's the thing. You're paying these guys all this money and one of your big stars has to lose. Either Canelo's going to win or Golovkin's going to win, unless, God forbid, it's a draw again, you know. So you just paid Golovkin $15 million and you paid Canelo $36 million. Then you're going to have to pay him whatever you're paying for that, and one of those guys has to lose, and that's part of your big three. That's part of your biggest three. Your big three stars, to my knowledge, that are ready made, that have been on pay-per-view before when they're on other networks, or that could be on pay-per-view if they were signed to other networks. Canelo, Golovkin, and Joshua. Joshua just lost. If these two guys fight next, then that means one of them have to lose. So now you have one guy, you know, who didn't lose. And we don't even know what type of performance he'll put up. You know, what type of fight Canelo Triple G will be this time. Will it be another decision? Will it be more you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to see them just fight 3 and 4 times, just keep having controversy or some bullshit. Or you put Triple G in there just with somebody else, and you put Canelo in there with somebody else. Like another Steve Rolls type, another Rocky Fielding type. And then if you do that, that keeps your fighters safe, keeps them winning, but it also won't make your subscriber count jump. Who wants to see Canelo fight another Rocky Fielding with all these Andrades and Caleb Smiths and, you know, Charlos and different people like that out there? Who wants to see that? Who wants to see Gennady Golovkin fight another Steve Rolls? That was a decent scrap last night before it ended. No, it wasn't. It was very predictable. It was okay. Steve Rolls fought scared. He looked real jittery, like, you know, like he had the bubble guts in round 1. That's not nothing to make your subscriber count jump. That was not no instant classic. There was no surprises. Only surprise is that Golovkin looked probably worse than he probably should have versus a guy with that little amount of experience compared to his. And he gave up some big shots in round 2 and some in round 3. So that, to me, that wasn't no legendary, you know, performance. And then the knockout was on YouTube like moments later. Triple G still doesn't have good defense. I said decent, nothing more. Bro, you guys have to understand what we are talking about. I'm not talking about decent. I'm talking about a brand new company paying someone $15 million, paying people $35 million. They need better than decent. You guys are missing the whole basis of this conversation. We're talking about they have to have booming fights. They have to get people, customers for life. That Triple G card, if ESPN is true, and they are paying them close to $15 million for that, then they lost money for sure, because they're not using pay-per-view, and it wasn't that type of card. The crowd didn't look crazy, packed, nothing. It wasn't no legendary card you had to come out for, and you're not doing pay-per-view, so you coming out of pocket. Yeah, it was a catch weight too. So I don't know. I just don't see how that's sustainable. It's just what it is. There was a whole section that was empty. Trust me, I was there. Yeah, I just don't see how that's sustainable. Period. $15 million for that, and there was no surprises. You know, I don't think that just lures people in. Like, yeah. Now what's the next? What's the next DAZN? See, that's what. Okay. Just hear me out, bro. What is DAZN's next fight? Like, what is their next? Like, I just feel like there's no sustained momentum. They don't have sustained momentum, because I feel like Canelo Jacobs didn't get promoted right, and then as a fight, it kind of under-delivered. I expected more from both guys. You know, I expected a bit more. And then Joshua Andy Ruiz got a good reception, but it got a good reception for the wrong reason, because DAZN's cash cow lost. And then you follow it up with Triple G Rolls. It's like, what's next? You know, Maurice Hooker versus Jose Ramirez. And see, look it, bro. I don't know what DAZN is doing with Eddie Hearn and who's pulling. Like, does DAZN just fork out money and then they just leave it to Golden Boy and Eddie Hearn to like map it out and just cross their fingers? Because that's what it seems like. Okay, just hear me out. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Joshua fought Ruiz. Ruiz is an Al Heyman PBC fighter. If you go to his Twitter after he won, he said, "Thank you to the best team in boxing, Al Heyman and Fox on PBC." Joshua, a big cash cow, a big earner for DAZN, you know, someone who's working with DAZN, who's a bigger name, just lost. Boom. Eddie Hearn has Oscar Rivas, right? A ESPN top-ranked fighter, and they have the top-ranked guy going over to DAZN to fight Dillian White. That's a dangerous fight for Dillian White, you know, meaning that's a good fight, and it's a fight that is not as guaranteed for him to win. So if Oscar Rivas goes and beats Dillian White, then he goes back over to top rank. I don't know about rematch clauses and all that, but that's a top rank fighter. Then they have Maurice Hooker, who's a champion with Eddie Hearn, fighting another top ranked guy who's a good fighter from my neck of the woods, NorCal, you know, in Jose Ramirez. So if Jose Ramirez can beat Maurice Hooker, right, then he goes back to top rank. I don't know about rematch clause. So Eddie Hearn keeps having these chances because they don't have a big stable, and they have to make and provide like big fights or whatever. They keep having these like intruder fights who could come and spoil the party and then go back to their network, like Andy Ruiz just did. I just gave you two more examples, right? Oscar Rivas, Bob Arum's fighter. I think he has a smaller promoter. I think he's from Colombia or something, and he has a smaller promoter, and he's also working with Arum. So if he goes over and either beats Dillian White and stops him or some shit, or it's perceived that he beats him, then that's leaving DAZN with Dillian White and leaving him in ruins, and then maybe pushing for a rematch or something. If Jose Ramirez beats Maurice Hooker, which that, you know, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. So if he does, then that's a top ranked fighter. Joshua, according to Eddie Hearn, is going into immediate rematch which I think is a dangerous fight. So if Andy Ruiz beats Joshua again, then he goes back to PBC with all the belts. Bro, Top Rank and Arum are sending hitters that are quote unquote expendable to them. Their Top Rank's whole business model is not really compromised or comprised, I guess, of Oscar Rivas. He's just kind of a fighter. But then if he'd be like an Andrew Ruiz, sending over a good fighter that's not that big of a risk to you, because you still got Shakur Stevenson, Tyson Fury, Sergey Kovalev, Terrence Crawford, Lomachenko. So you could send him, hope he spoils the party and comes back to you. You could send Andy Ruiz, hopefully spoils the party, which he did, and come back to you. You could send Jose Ramirez. He does good numbers, like out here when he fights. You could send him over, hope he spoils the party and comes back to you. You know? Just dangerous. And then Canelo, Triple G, that's two big earners on DAZN. If they fight each other next, then one of them has to get knocked off. So one person, whatever you have Golovkin, I think, for 6 fights. So if you put Canelo and Triple G, then you have 4 more fights with Golovkin. And whatever pay scale whatever you discuss. If Golovkin knocked out Canelo, you got 9 more fights or whatever with him. 8 more fights with him. It's weird. The business model is weird to me. Because then now you're going to be stuck with Canelo, who just got knocked out. Now you're going to be stuck with Golovkin, who just got knocked out for 6 to 8 fights. Listen, once again, this is not the channel for you guys if you guys cannot comprehend and stay focused. It's not about who wins. That's why I just gave you both scenarios. I don't care if Canelo wins or if Triple G wins. I'm giving you both scenarios so you guys can focus on the point being made. It's bad business if they keep getting their guys knocked off, especially if they're stars or potential stars. Or they put them in low-level fights like Steve Rolls, and I don't see your subscribers jumping because nobody's anticipating or hyped up about that fight. Period. So I don't know. I have to see what they plan on doing. You know, I'm really curious to see how, like, what's the game plan. They got money tied up with their biggest guys. One of them just lost, and Joshua. And then now if he does an immediate rematch, it's a must-win situation, which is dangerous. Eddie Hearn keeps doing interviews. Eddie Hearn keeps doing interviews saying he had a concussion and he can't remember. What do you think that does to Andy Ruiz's confidence? Why would you tell him that? Why, you know what I'm saying? Who does that? Why would you? That's like me going out of town or something, like, or you going out of town and you say, hey, I'm going out of town for 2 weeks. I'm going to be out of country. You know, my doors are unlocked. That is like, why would you put that out there like that? Unless it was someone you really trust. Eddie Hearn is telling the public that Joshua had memory loss and couldn't remember the 3rd round and on. He was concussed, which makes sense if you listen to what he was saying. He was, oh, why am I feeling like this? What did he hit me with? You know, what's he gonna try to do? He sound pretty bad. Why would you tell people that? Like, it's one thing if people speculate, but you just told people he had memory loss. What do you think that does to Andy Ruiz? So, like I said, Eddie Hearns, he keep making these fights, and then he's making them because he don't have the stable, and he's trying to deliver a big fight, but he's putting his fighters in dangerous fights with rival promoters' fighters that they have bigger stables, so they can afford to send Oscar Rivas over. They can afford to send Jose Ramirez over. He gonna be the one stuck with the aftermath. You know, unless all his fighters win. Dillian White got to win. Maurice Hooker got to win. Joshua got to win the rematch. If not, then your fighters are all getting knocked off. I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't know. I really don't understand that. The vampire stream. I don't think AJ will be the same. They're definitely not, giving him a lot of time. You know what? I'm gonna go get a. I got this ice cream sandwich. I'm gonna go get it. That sounds delicious right now. And this is the vampire stream. Smash the like button. UFC was good. I was surprised people were sleeping on Henry after he beat Dillashaw. Everyone was picking Marlon. I was surprised that people counted him out after beating Dillashaw on drugs. The scary thing about AJ is I feel like when you're concussed, it's kind of like being drunk. So I feel like it kind of, I don't know, I might be wrong on this, but I feel like, hold on. I gotta research it. I almost feel like being concussed can unlock your subconscious mind. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, because it's kind of like being drunk, like impaired. You're not like it's not. You're not. It's not like you had a lobotomy. It's not like you're a vegetable, but you're impaired. So I kind of feel like it could unlock like your subconscious mind, like things you think about, different things like that, because you're just like cloudy and jaded. And then if you listen to what Joshua was saying, it sounds like how he acts in these select interviews, his insecurities and kind of his subconscious thoughts seem like they came out. Like, what did he hit me with? Like, it was like almost, it was weird. It's kind of scary. I'm not even being funny. Kind of scary because he was talking like a little kid. He was like, what did he hit me with? Why do I feel like this? Yeah, it was a hook. What's he gonna try to do? He said something like that. I was like, what the hell? Not good. in between the rounds, I didn't catch everything he was saying. I heard some of it, like what he hit me with, but I seen an extended one. I seen an extended one where he was saying more shit. I was like, what the hell? Damn, this is a hell of a gun. Hold on. Listen.
Use your height and reach. You can't get past the jab if you jab up and down and then walk into the right hand. Okay? Put your legs out. Relax. What do you have to do now? Bit busy with the jab up and down. Start shooting the odd 1-2. The odd 1-2 up on your toes. The odd 1-2 bub up. Keep him long. Keep him long. Don't look for the hooks yet.
Sound like you said. So what do I do now? Like, that's not good. Your boxer is asking you, what do I do now?
Keep him long. Jab back.
He's took it really well.
Yeah. A little bit more relaxed. But don't go flat. Just use your...
Hey, breathing heavy.
Don't go flat in range, alright? A little bit busier. The jab's killing him and up and down with the right hand. Just waiting for a hook. Yeah, but you're going to keep breaking him up with them left, right.
He said he's just waiting for a hook.
Every now and again, a hook off the jab, okay? To the center. Yeah, and break him down with the reach. Come on. Chin down. Keep the hands up when you're boxing.
So I'm almost done with this. Someone made a cut with all of his in-round speeches. Salute, can't wait to hear your Ruiz impression. You tripping. Speaking of Ruiz, come on.
This the real deal. This the real deal. Easy work.
Don't come down. What shot was it? He caught you with the hook because you loaded up.
He said, what shot was it?
Alright, so let's just keep the hands up. Listen, you're back in the game. Jab, right hand. Calm. You'll break him down. You can do this. If you stay busy for 2 rounds, you can do this. Come on. Little jabs and right hands, okay? Little bit busy, alright? Listening. Swallow. Listen to me. Listen. You can win this fight. You just got to be busy. You got to meet him with a reach. You don't need to be looking for hooks. Jab, right hand. If you catch him, don't look for power. Look to box. Because you're walking into the shots. It's when you look for hooks, he caught you. Don't look for hooks. Yeah, he caught you with a hook because you've loaded up with your own hook. Jab, right hand. Listen. We've got to win these rounds now, mate. Come on, let's get into gear now. Come on, let's get boxing again. What will he come out and do? He'll come out and he'll try and...
Wow. He really fucked up. He just said, what will he come out and do? Sound like a good game plan. AJ didn't listen. He was fucked up. He was concussed. It's like trying to drive straight and you drunk.
With a 1-2. Box all straight stuff. The odd hook. Come on, hands up. Busier, Josh. What you've got to do is start throwing your 1-2s, alright? Have a drink, alright? All you got to do is throw your 1-2s, mate. And shoot the odd body shot down. That's all you got to do, alright? I'm not feeling like this. You've just got to time him. If you're hitting, you'll slow him right down, alright?
Does give him a crack. What's he going to do? What's he going to do?
Is it what Ruiz going to come out and do? I don't think he ever expected or dreamed to be in his position.
He said, what shots will come? What's he going to do? Bro, he's fucked up. He really fucked up in there. I give him props for having heart. Like, I mean, to that point. Just go to Frank Bruno's Twitter. He said, what's he going to hit me with? Bro, he was fucked up in there. That's, man, Eddie Hearn, he's like cold-blooded kind of. to put Joshua back in with Ruiz, he don't give a fuck. He's just mad that they lost the power and they don't want to give the control to. So they're gonna put all this pressure on Joshua to get it done. He's breathing so hard. He's saying, "What's he gonna hit me with?" See, my fear is like this. Andy Ruiz deserves more props. Cause this is how you know Ruiz got a chin. Cause he got hit with the shit. He was clearly fucked up. Look at how he recovered though. Andy Ruiz's recovery game is ridiculous because Joshua, his knockdown rounds were like the 3rd round and the 7th round. You know, he got hit with some other shit, but those are the rounds where he got knocked down, and he never recovered from the 3rd round. You get what I'm saying? Versus Andy Ruiz seemed to recover pretty fast, and he looked clear-headed throughout the rest of the fight. This is the difference between the Klitsch. Bro, I really feel like the blueprint is to beat Joshua is already out there. It's not going to be easy. Like, you have to have skill. I'm not just saying you could just be any person off the street and do it. But for these professional fighters that have ability, you know, and good teams and, you know, conditioning, you have to have certain things. You know, you have to have certain things for sure. But, you know, Ruiz with a solid game plan, I got to favor him because he knows that how he bounced back and he's seen how Joshua wasn't. This is what I told you guys in the Klitschko fight. Klitschko let Joshua off the hook because he's not aggressive. Ever since Klitschko got knocked out, his style is more like jab, 1-2, jab, 1-2, clinch, you know. That's his style. So I think he respected Joshua because Joshua's size. Joshua never been on the canvas. You know, he got buzzed by Dillian White, but he wasn't on the canvas like them. So Klitschko didn't know. He just knew this guy was like, you know, 13 years younger than him or whatever. So he wasn't gung-ho. Andy Ruiz, you know, this is a Mexican-American with that heart. So he was like, fuck it. We're going to war. So what's going to happen in a rematch? Even if Joshua, I don't know. I just keep seeing David Price, Tony Thompson. Because even if you watch it, I'm almost positive it was in the rematch. David Price hurt Tony Thompson in the rematch. And it was like, okay, he's going to get some revenge. Nope. David Price got fucked up after that. And then got stopped again. So I feel like if it, like, this is why the immediate rematch is so dangerous for Joshua. Because he has to be perfect. And he has to be perfect with a lot of baggage coming into the fight. Only 4 to 5 months to watch tape and get better. Just a lot. You got to look at it. Confidence-wise, his confidence had to drop. Andy Ruiz's confidence went up. So if he's living in his head and he's too cautious, then Andy Ruiz is going to come forward and not be made to pay. That's not good because Andy Ruiz was already, that's kind of like the first fight. Andy Ruiz was walking him down. So he doesn't want to be the taller guy getting walked down and getting pushed back on the back foot. I don't think that's where he needs to be. But if he comes, like, tries to just forget, you know, what happened and walk him down, then he has to remember, even if he hurts this guy, if he doesn't hurt him so bad to the point where he can't, you know, where one punch ends it, or, you know, he's not so badly hurt he can't get up, or if he gets up, he's still swinging, then you got to work and you got to worry and live with that in your head that he could counter me. And he's short with shorter arms, so his shots are going to connect before your shots do. You know? So, I don't know. It's just hard. Plus the physical and mental anguish that you would have to come over. That's just a lot. AJ can't fight off the back foot. Yeah, and he's big too, with long arms, so he can't send them shorter shots. Man, if I'm Ruiz, I would stay in his chest, bro. There's no way. Once you get in there, do your best work, because his shots aren't going to land quicker than yours. You just got to watch out for the uppercut. Joshua got a nice uppercut. But once you're in the, use some head movement, stay at his chest, he's not going to like that. And then he's going to be worried about you being. The other thing, I didn't like how Joshua, when he got hurt, I didn't like nothing. I didn't like nothing he did. He didn't know how to clinch properly. Like, you that big, but you can't do a proper clinch. He didn't have the stamina. He looked panicky. Just, I don't know. It's an uphill battle. And I really feel like Eddie Hearn is not doing his fighter. He keeps telling Joshua's weaknesses and shit. He said Joshua didn't leave his house. He said Joshua.
The first thing I thought was get a rematch in the UK. Yeah. And he's not decided yet, but he just said that to me last night. I was like, I mean, if he did it at the Garden and he won, like, his stock would go to a whole nother level.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Just to be able to come back here and run it back here, and I've just been.
And he didn't leave it.
Listen,
I've just been watching how he's been dealing with the loss. Oh, what a character,
he's hurting
man.
bad.
Yeah, for sure he is. He's a competitor.
He has a house here that he's renting, and he didn't leave it until Thursday. Yeah, he didn't leave.
He said Joshua didn't leave his house. He's staying in America. Listen, this is exact, bro. This new media.
Really wasn't a lot to see.
What the fuck? This new media shit.
When did you last take the time?
He didn't leave the house.
And the whole team's still here?
Yeah, they're all here. All his friends are there. I mean, they're not like, no one's moping around. Like, but he didn't want to leave the house. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just finally talking to him, he went out, I think Thursday, went and watched some basketball, just like on the block.
Yeah,
just
I saw
like,
that.
yeah. And he was like, I love America. I love New York.
Yeah.
And one of the things is, not everybody knows who he is. Yeah. Like in England, he cannot leave his house.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, in Europe in general.
And I think in a little bit, he's probably a little bit. Not afraid to go home, but when he goes home, it's going to be mad, So, he's really, he's a fine young man,
He said Joshua is not really afraid to go home. He's afraid to go home. What did I tell you? I told you Joshua don't want to go home. Why is Eddie Hearn telling, bro? Listen, I honestly, I'm trying. Like, I swear I'm trying. I'm trying to be human, and I feel bad for Joshua. I really do. I feel bad, just who wants to go through this? But I can't feel all the way bad because you a grown ass man, and you're allowing Eddie Hearn to do this. So I can't respect that. Like, I can't. Me personally, I can't respect it. I can't respect when like, hey man, like, just give me some time to like regroup. Can you not do, a bunch of interviews and say this on my behalf? Like, I'm just telling you, I'm a straight shooter. If somebody was doing that on my team and I kept looking bad in I'll be like, man, can you stop, please? Like, can you? He just told, like, I can't respect that. I can't respect if you're gonna allow somebody to keep throwing out your weakness. Oh, he had memory loss and doing these 30-minute interviews and shit. Like, bro, this is like you throwing him under the bus now. So I feel bad from a human perspective, but real talk, the person in me, I can't feel all the way bad because what I look like feeling sorry for someone who's 6'6", could beat the average man ass, and you allowing him to do this. You allowing him to do these 30-minute interviews and say all this extra shit, bro. He just basically said he's not afraid to go home. He's afraid to go home. Why are you telling people that? He didn't leave the house. Why that? I don't know. He didn't want to leave the house. Why do people need to know that? So, once again, it's sad how new media just been on point with this shit. So he's posting Papa Willie, and you basically saying he didn't leave the house because he's depressed. So it's proof. What I'm saying is this shit feels fake. All this like, oh yeah, the loss from my perspective and popping willies and stuff. Then you proving it because you say he didn't leave the house till Thursday because he's down. Then you try to cover it up. Oh, nobody's moping. Okay, so he's staying in America, not moping, but he won't leave the house, and not everyone knows him. And he's not afraid to go back, but he doesn't want to go back. Bro, Eddie Hearn just keep doing like it's like the king of double talk. It's the king of double talk. He's not moping. People on the team aren't moping around, but Joshua didn't leave from Saturday to Thursday and decided to stay in New York. He's kind of afraid, and he's like not afraid. He's not afraid, but he doesn't want to go back to the UK because it's mad. Come on, bro. That like Eddie Hearn doing a number on Joshua. Then he's saying that black eye was a compress. He did another IFL interview, all in the video, and he said it was a compression machine. It wasn't a black eye, but Joshua, I thought, said it was a line in the camp after saying physio. It's too all over the place, you know. And then now you're damaging your fighter worse. You're telling all his secret, all his memory loss. He didn't want to leave the house, you know. I just feel like why do you need to tell people all this? And especially when you are the one pushing for an immediate rematch, why would you tell all of his depression and, you know, So I gotta pick. Look. So this is Joshua on social media, and he's posting all this shit like it's good times, but then your manager or promoter is saying he didn't want to leave the house. Now all of a sudden you back. Look. He's smiling and stuff and showing people. Don't let success get to your head. But then now your promoter let the cat out the bag, said you didn't want to leave the house. Listen, as I expand, if I ever let people on the team and shit, I don't want you on the team if you're going to make the team look bad or me look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's why I keep my circle small, bro. I can't have nobody speak on my behalf like constantly. Block Tay Boxing. It's so Tay. Your time is limited here. Block Tay Boxing. Get him out of here. Like, nobody else, like, I don't know. It's just different. Okay. Tyson Fury. You don't see after the knockout, you don't, like, Tyson Fury is talking about how he felt during the knockout. He was like, I woke up at the count of 4. You don't hear, like, Frank Warren 2 days after speaking on behalf of Tyson Fury and explaining everything that Tyson Fury told him in secrecy or in privacy about why he did. He let Tyson Fury, the stuff I heard about Tyson Fury with the knockout, I heard it from Tyson Fury. That's the difference. I'm telling you, Eddie Hearn wants to be the star. It's like Get Out movie. Joshua is the vehicle. You know, Eddie Hearn wants to be the driver. When I want to hear Tyson Fury tell me about how he's feeling, what the knockout felt. He lived it. Yeah, I don't want to hear Frank Warren more than I hear Tyson Fury talk about it. So would you be cool with Eddie saying that if Joshua was admitting that he was down and out? What are you talking about, bro? Man, I'm cool with the truth. Whatever the truth is. See, I'm cool with people not insulting my intelligence. And you looking like a rat, bro. Get CJ, get him out of here, bro. He a rat. He a rat, I'm telling you. CJG. I'm cool with the truth. I'm cool with you not trying to play me like a fool. You know, Joshua up here smiling at the at basketball court, but then his promoter coming from behind him, sweeping the rug and throwing him under the bus, sweeping the rug from underneath him, saying he was basically depressed and didn't leave the house. But then he's saying, oh, he wasn't moping. Well, okay, so why didn't he leave the house then? He's not even, and then he didn't even, well, he's man, whatever. The proof is in the pudding.
One of the things is, not everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Like on the block,
Yeah,
just
I saw
like,
that.
yeah, his friends are there. I mean, they're not like, no one's...
Listen,
And he didn't leave it until Thursday.
Yeah.
He didn't leave the house.
And the whole team's still here?
Yeah, they're all here. All his friends are there. I mean, they're not like, no one's moping around. Like,
No.
but he didn't want to leave the house. You know?
no one is moping around, but he didn't want to leave the house. He stayed in New York or Miami and stayed in from Saturday night to Thursday, and nobody's moping around, but he didn't want to leave the house. Then he says nobody really knows him in America the same. So if nobody knows you, why would you be afraid to leave? Because you know people seen the fight or seen the clip, so you don't even want to go out.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And just finally talking to him, he went out, I think Thursday, went and watched some basketball, just like on the block.
Yeah,
just
I saw
like,
that.
yeah.
I
And he was
saw
like,
that.
and he's like, you know, I love America, I love New York.
Yeah.
And one of the things is, not everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Like in England, he cannot leave his house.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, in Europe in general.
And I think in a little bit, he's probably a little bit not afraid to go home, but when he goes home, it's going to be like, it's going to be mad, you know? So he's really, he's a fine young man, you know, like he's hurting so bad, but, and by the way, the fire in his belly is like, it's burning, strong.
Why is he telling him that? He's hurting so bad. He said, oh, he's not afraid to go home, but he don't want to go home. Come, bro, who said all of this? Who said all this? I told you didn't want to go home. Every other, Katie Taylor, I just seen her. She in Ireland right now, even though she didn't really win her fight, and she having a homecoming, and she taking pictures at the homecoming. Joshua's still in America for some odd reason, in Harlem and shit, because he don't want to go and have to deal with the maddening crowd as mod and deal with people like, man, all bummed up. He don't want to have to face that. This is what I told you. And then Eddie Hearn just said he hurting, but then Joshua like, yeah, it's mod, you know, it's mod guys, you know, smiling and shit, bro. That's what I told you, and you wonder why I don't believe it. This is literally, see, this new media shit is different. I told you. Either y'all gonna prove me the fuck wrong, and you gonna start, you know, revealing the evidence and shreds of evidence that make me look crazy, or I'm gonna make y'all look crazy. It's gonna be one of us, cause y'all try to play me every time I say this stuff. Oh yeah, right. He's not. No, he's being genuine. I'm always the bad guy, and then when I come and show you the evidence of what I was suggesting, then y'all ain't got nothing to say. Like I said, my honest opinion, I would just take some time away and less interview. Just less interviews. I heard he can't fly because of memory loss. I mean, I don't know. Because, like, how would they know? You know, if Eddie, I mean, now they know because Eddie Hearn doing interviews. Oh, the motherfucker had a concussion. How do they know if you have memory loss? I get on planes all the time. How would they know? So explain that. See, y'all just believe whatever you hear. So if you just go to Southwest Airlines or United or some shit, how they know you got memory loss? There's no medical you have to pass to get through TSA. No, I don't think memory loss, more like concussion protocol. But how do they know? You can get home if you wanted to. But even then, like, whatever. If you go to the hospital, how do people know what you got going on? They look to see if you have a gun on you, or sharp devices. They don't know what the fuck you got going on if you really got to get home. The energy was kind of low. I went to Wilder, Brazil. The crowd was more lit. I don't think I saw a billboard for this fight either. You know what? Actually, I'm going to just be real. I'm not from New York, so someone from New York could correct me. Barclays got a better crowd than the Garden. It's like more of a, like, I feel like Madison Square Garden. I don't know for other sports. I'm just talking about boxing. I don't know about basketball and all that. But for boxing, the fights I've been at the Garden, it's a different energy. Like, I feel like Barclays has more of a contemporary, modern, upscale, younger crowd. You get what I'm saying? I feel like it's like a younger, hip crowd. Like, I feel like there's more people at the Barclays I would hang out with than at the Garden. Just feels like a different energy. It's hard to say, hard to explain, but again, I'm not from New York, so I haven't been to several events, but the fights I seen at the Barclays were like, the energy, like people be screaming and shit. I seen Golovkin. I went to cover Golovkin Jacobs, which was a good fight at the Garden. And when Stavern and Brazil got knocked out, it was like an uproar. Like Golovkin and Jacobs was a real good fight, and I watched that at the Garden. I covered that fight as media. And then that had Sor Rungvisai versus Chocolatito, and the energy was different. Those were good fights. I'm not saying the crowd was dead or nothing, but I don't know. When Wilder be knocking motherfuckers out, I was at the Brazil fight, the Brazil 2 fight, the Barclay. I was at the what's it called? The last one. I was at the Charlo fight. I don't know. It's just it's different. Maybe because it's new. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's Brooklyn. I don't know. I'm not from there, so I know when I go to Barclays, I've had more electric crowds. I've been to Nassau Coliseum, Garden, and covered fights at the Barclays. Oh wow, that's probably right too. He said AJ flying out of the Clearport too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He probably don't even fly like Southwest and shit. Yeah, it might be because it's newer. I think it's the borough too. I think it's because it's in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, to me, I think Brooklyn has got more, especially now. I don't know Brooklyn like the 90s. I heard it was kind of grimy and shit. But now they got some spots where, they got the Targets and, it's just cool. They got like spots that touristy people can be. See, that's what I'm saying. MSG is bougie. It feels different. They need to redecorate the inside too. I know it's a lot of history, but I think they should renovate it or something. LA get down though. Wilder Fury was lit. I went to Wilder Fury. That shit was lit at the Staples. And Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter was lit. But yeah, man, I just think Team Joshua should stop doing these interviews. Like it's not who's this benefiting? If anything, this is making Andy Ruiz. If I was Andy Ruiz, I'd be eating a Snicker. Like, okay, this is what we got to do. Chilling. They should just stop. And Eddie's like constantly contradicting what was said. It's bad. It's bad. Eddie Hearn says that Joshua never had a black eye. Like the level of pomp is off the charts. It's off the charts. Like I feel like Eddie Hearn and Team Joshua, this whole campaign,